Okay, can you hear me now, guys? Sorry about that. So hello, Sinak, Deja Vu, Octo Girly, Joyanne, Rosalind, Barbara, Linda, Angie, Vicky, Tom, Judy, Mac Rambo, Anushka. Do you guys still no sound? They're saying everyone's saying still no sound. Let's have a wait. Hi, Lily. Hi, Linda. Everyone's still saying no sound. Ah, there we go. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. So hello everyone, Golden Hour, Amanda, and yes, it's been a busy couple of weeks and we are safely settled into our new home here on Pridelands, so very, very exciting. And yeah, so Brian is on camera, of course, the Killer Bees, doing live again, wonderful, always. Hello Tom, Amanda, Tracy, Betty, hi in Rhode Island, Janice, Joanne. Here we go. My dad says he can hear us. So everyone, a big welcome to the Friday Night Animal World Live. Now, it's been very busy out in the bush, and fortunately, sometimes we don't have to even be out in the bush to capture some of the magic action. And of course, I've never watched the clips that we're going to see now, so we're going to enjoy what's been happening on the live bush cams together. And if you haven't yet, please go like, share and subscribe to Live Bush Cams on YouTube by Painted Dog TV. So very, very exciting. So Vimpy, what's up first? Oh, a porcupine. There we go. That's quite nice. We haven't seen a porcupine in a while. Having a little sniff around. Of course, the largest rodent in Africa, the southern porcupine. We have two species of porcupine in Africa. The other is called the brush-tailed porcupine, which lives in the rainforests generally and up to the west of Africa. And they are a lot smaller than our southern porcupines. And of course, the southern porcupines are fascinating. They often share their homes with warthogs and hyenas. Okay, let's go. We've got lots of clips tonight. 14 in total, so 1 down, 13 to go. You can see lots of little birds. Ah, I see the shadow first. Oh, and the giraffe chasing all the doves. And it looks like some little wax balls and firefinches. And of course, we're at the 6-sided waterhole. And always nice to see the giraffes around. And as always, as we're moving into the dry season, getting busier and busier, you can just see the sheer amount of tracks around there. What I love particularly about this spot is that often we get the most unique views of giraffe as they come and drink underneath the cam. And you can see, as always, giraffe are very, very cautious when they come for drink, and they're at their most risk. Oh, there we go. Oh, wow. That's what I was talking about, that view, and they suddenly pop out from under the camera. That's awesome. That's my favorite view, and we get the top end of a giraffe. It was quite funny. Last week we had giraffe feeding on that camera, and you could see the camera moving as the giraffe was eating a leaf on the branch there. So that's very, very cool. And yeah, so yes, Sinak, lots of other awesome sightings off the waterhole cams, and we have 12 more to go. So without much further ado, let's see what's next. Oh, hello! It's the Rietspruit Pride. Or is it just Nuleti? Looking a little hungry. Let's see, there's Nuleti. But other than that, looking quite well. And so it could be just her while she's off hunting by herself. Or it could be... Ah, there we go. Here comes trouble. Isn't it incredible how big those little cubs are getting? They used to be absolutely tiny little things. And that looks like BB who's just popped in. And Bucket's not quite that big yet. Yeah, all the rest of them are coming in. And, ooh, big thirsty drink. Barbara, indeed, she is a little bit thin, but she's got lots of mouths to feed after that. Oh, hello. It's the management of Blowbunk, probably coming to make sure that there's water in the waterhole, arriving with the lions. Looks like the lions weren't sure. Oh, there's Bucket! Look how big Bucket is! And that isn't that great. Now, we've got some exciting news about all these wonderful critters on the Rietspruit. And next week, you'll be able to meet our man on the ground in the Rietspraat Game Reserve. He's got a camera, and he's going to be telling the stories of those incredible cats while we're based in Pridelands. So exciting stuff. So next week, Friday, next Animal World Live, we have a special guest. You will find out a little bit more during the week, who's going to be our Rietspraat man on the ground. So very, very exciting stuff. So we're going to be getting quite a lot more catch-ups from Bucket, BB, Nyaleti, Mabai, and MP. Ian, the dog, is inside. It is cold. It is bitterly cold here in the lowveld. I'm wearing long pants, shoes, socks, and 2 jackets. So it is very, very cold. So yes, Chloa is hiding inside. She's probably very snugly under a shuka on the couch at the moment with Monty, the other hound that is here. That is Zander and Melissa's hound. Okay, so let's move along. Let's see what else is next after the lions. Oh, something the lions would have loved to have caught unawares at the waterhole. A nice big sounder of warthog. And you can see the camera moving around. The August winds have well and truly hit us. So yeah, so that's been quite interesting. We've been doing some walking, and you got to be very careful when walking in this wind. Sketch Cats, we have moved to Pridelands. We're actually living on Pridelands now. So that's where we've moved, but we are making sure that we keep up with the Rietspraat, and we are going to have a special correspondent operating in the Rietspraat Reserve. Okay, Steve, 35 degrees in the UK. I don't believe you. Every time I've been to the UK in summer, it's been bitterly cold. So I'd say it's probably around 15, 16. I'll check just now. While we look at the next clip, I'll find out how cold it is. Let's check the app. Vervet monkeys and an impala. I've lost the temperature. There it is. Okay. So always great. And isn't it incredible that now the monkeys are very tentatively drinking out of there, whereas when we first put up this cam when it was really hot, the monkeys were actually taking swims in the water hole. So how much has changed, and I'm sure it'll get warm very, very quickly. Now, of course, impala looking very relaxed, and that's because all the monkeys are around. And of course, while there are some on the ground, there will be some in the trees, and they have incredible eyesight and are able to spot potential predators such as the Rietspraat pride making their way. So that's why they look quite nice and relaxed. So I checked while we were looking at that clip. It is 16 degrees Celsius this evening. For us, that is bitterly cold. I'm very thankful that the August wind stopped howling probably about half an hour ago. It was quite interesting doing the setup outside here when the wind was howling, and we've got lights hanging from trees, from lead lenser. So it was a little bit interesting, but of course we always manage to make a plan here at Painted Dog TV. Okay, let's have a look at the next clip. Vimpy, what have you got for me? Oh, Eland and Inyala. It's so lovely. We're starting to see more and more of the Eland as the dry season is here. And there's a bit of a tentative standoff between the two. A male Inyala, and it looked like an Eland cow and maybe an Eland bull. Difficult to see in that light, but definitely an Eland cow on the left. And as I said, very interesting about the lowveld Eland is, even though they're the same species as the Eland you get on the highveld, if you had to bring an Eland from up on the highveld grasslands down to the lowveld, they would actually die quite quickly. They do not have immunity to the ticks that occur in the lowveld. So lowveld Eland are quite special, and they generally only occur along the Limpopo, naturally occurring at the moment in big numbers, into northern Kruger. And historically they would have occurred as far down as this, but in quite small numbers, so it's always great to see them. Oh, would they interact together, Anushka? I think you're talking about the Eland and the Nyala. That's about all the interacting, or you could have been talking about the impala and the monkeys, and this is about the level of interaction you'll get between the two species. And with the monkeys, sometimes we've had monkeys slap impala at the waterhole before. They're quite cheeky, the primates, but generally not too much interaction between the different species. However, if we had something big like a rhino or whatnot, sometimes they will push the smaller animals away, basically being bullies at the waterhole. Okay, what's next? Speaker rhino. There we go. Always lovely to have the rhino. And you can see them there having a good long drink at CEST. What time was this? 7 o'clock at night. That's quite late at this time of the year for rhinos to be moving around. During the summer, they're quite active at night, but rhinos really don't like the cold too much. And quite often, by 7, 8 o'clock at night, they would have found a nice spot to bed down for the night. Yes, Lara Moore, that Eland definitely doesn't want to do the dance. And yes, but it is always nice. And looks like it's No Hope and Calf, and then I'm not sure which number bull this is here. So we've been seeing them quite a lot together before, while we were in, when was that? April, May. They spent quite a lot of time together, those three. And there was another young male rhino that was also hanging around with them. Yes, indeed, Amanda, chubby unicorns. Very chubby unicorns indeed. David, it is our absolute pleasure here at Painted Dog TV to spoil with animals. We absolutely love doing it. So let's have a look. What's next? What other treats do we have? Okay. Oh, it's Howard the hyena. Now, of course, its name's not Howard. I just generally refer to all hyenas as Howard, because we have Howard who lives behind us. Quite a fat-looking hyena there. There has been quite a bit more movement of hyena on the Reach Spread, so we are hoping at some point they do move their den back onto the reserve. I know my dad would be very, very happy to have the hyenas back. He spent lots and lots of time at the den. What always amazes me about spotted hyenas is you very seldom find a skinny one. We saw two this evening, and they were both rotund. They always seem to make a plan, whether they manage to nick an impala carcass off a leopard, or in this area and a lot of areas hunt for themselves. And with that really strong winds we've been having, particularly last night, I think the hyenas were doing a bit of hunting for themselves. Okay, Vim, how many more clips do we have to go? This is a bumper week. Nice to be in the dry season. Hello, Gnus. Nah. I always love wildebeest. The clowns of the bushveld. They can often be quite silly, charging around, but at the moment they're looking quite tentative in approaching the waterhole. Just in case the male lions are about, they're quite a fan of the Boskamp waterhole. So what we're seeing is quite a lot of water-dependent species, and obviously we're going to see more and more of them coming through to the permanent waterholes during the dry season, as all the temporary pans and puddles and whatnot have been dry for a long time. And I think by now even some of the last bits of water holding in the Deep Sluit River would have dried up, so we will start seeing big congregations of the water-dependent animals around the waterholes. Indeed, Barbara, so many animals. Oh, thank you, Darcy. Yeah, it's absolutely spectacular, and the live camera network will be expanding very soon, so we're very excited about that. Some of you might have already seen the new weather cam, which is on Pridelands, looking towards the mountains from the top of a knobthorn tree that Brian and VM spent a lot of time in, getting the network ready. There we go. That's what it looks like at night. Those lights you see in the distance there are Hoedspruit town itself. Oh, there's a giraffe. Is this live, or is this a recording? I don't know. Oh, it's a recording. I thought this was happening right now. I got really excited that we went to the weather cam and there was a giraffe on it. So that is on a high point in Pridelands, looking towards the south basically, and towards the Drakensberg Mountains. And so I'm pretty sure we'll catch some ellies. Actually, there were a lot of ellies around that area tonight. So once we go through the footage. Oh, thank you, Patty. We'll be able to see. I'm sure we're going to see some elephants on that cam as well. But that is the first of a couple of cameras that will be going up in Pridelands in the next couple of weeks. And so very, very exciting stuff. Okay, what do we got next, Vimpy? That hyena again. No, it's a very big civet at CEST. very cautiously having a look around. Now, fascinating creatures, civets, omnivores of the nth degree, and in their feces you often find millipedes, scorpions, and jackalberry fruit, marula seeds, and one of the few mammals that is able to actually digest millipedes. Most millipedes, or songololos, have a form of cyanide called hydrogen cyanide in them, and civets actually have a very special amylase that is secreted by their pancreas that enables them to break down hydrogen cyanides into something that they can eat. So one of the few mammal species that can actually eat millipedes. And bonus question, who can tell me another mammal species that is not an omnivore? Well, it is an omnivore because it eats them, but is not generally it's generally considered a herbivore that can eat millipedes. Doesn't occur in southern Africa. It occurs further up Africa. Well, thank you, Chris. Thank you, Mary. Let's see. So while you guys ponder that, what animal can eat millipedes? What mammal can eat millipedes but is generally considered to be a herbivore? And it's because of living in the rainforests and the lack of nutrients there that they have adapted to be able to eat millipedes. And they even hunt birds sometimes. Here we go. That's a bit of a clue. Now, it is very, very exciting. But before we invite our guest out to join us, and before we get... There we go. Oh, you guys are too quick. Umo, Khalid, you are spot on. Quite a few of the duiker species are able to digest millipedes. The forest duikers, your legrophons, which is, I can't remember the normal English name now. White? No, that's black. Oh dear, I can remember the scientific name, but I can't remember the common name, because when we were working in Gabon and Congo, the French name, cephaloph, which is the first part of the scientific name, Blanc and whatnot, was very close. I'm just trying to remember now. So it is duikers. So it's not Ogilvy's. It could be Ogilvy's duiker. It's legrophons. It's got the white legs. Cephaloph legrophons. There we go. I'll remember its name in a second. This is going to drive me nuts. But anyway, quite a lot of your forest duikers are able to eat millipedes. They also eat birds' eggs and other insects, and if they can, small mammals they'll catch even. And due to the rainforest, everyone thinks there's a lot of food for animals in the rainforest, but most of that food is up in the canopy, so those living on the ground have had to adapt to get to that food. Okay, so we've got a little clip of a new family that's budding here on Pridelands, and we're going to be keeping a close eye on them, and we'll see, hopefully mom does well to raise them to adulthood. So we're going to show you this clip before we get our guest Yuka on safari to join us. So isn't this awesome? It's a crowned lapwing nest not far from our new home. It was found by Mike from Eco Training. He let me know where it is, so definitely some little babies hopefully on their way, unless it gets found by a slender mongoose or a white-tailed mongoose or a hyena. So they're relying on camouflage to keep this nest safe. So it's just a little depression in the ground, a few little sticks and stones, and their eggs are so well camouflaged. Hopefully that they will hatch. Otherwise, we're just going to have to keep coming back to check how the lapwings are doing. Wasn't that cool? So that's literally a couple of 100 meters from where I'm sitting now. There's a crown lapwing nest on Impala Plains, and we're going to be keeping a close eye on it. And hopefully the white-tailed mongoose and slender mongoose and warthogs don't find those eggs, because they will munch on them. So fingers crossed for Mommy Crown Lapwing. Now we have a very special guest with us, and she's probably ticked off a lot of world firsts, and that is Yuka on safari. Welcome, Yuka.
Thank you guys. Hi.
So for those who don't know, Yuka, tell us a little bit about yourself
Okay, so I'm originally from Japan. I'm Japanese, and I was actually born in the States, but I grew up in Tokyo, and I came to South Africa about 5 years ago, and I've been working as a field guide. Yeah.
So Yuka's been lucky enough. She's met Bucket and BB. You
Yes.
drove on Reed Spruit quite a bit, yes. So that was quite exciting.
One of my first sighting of the bucket was like tiny, and I still remember so clearly. That was so special.
And of course, you are a graduate of eco training as well.
Yes, so I joined the eco training year-long course on 2015. Yeah, and then graduated on 2016. And yeah, I started working around this area, Hoedspruit area.
So very, very exciting. And I think you are the world's only female Japanese trail guide.
Yes, that's correct, yeah.
So there we go. Isn't that awesome?
Yeah, it's amazing, yeah. I'm very lucky to be in this position, being one of those few people that come from Japan, being out in the field. So yeah, very cool.
So Yuka can track lions and walk into elephants. So we're very lucky to have her. And Yuka's actually going to be part of the Painted Dog team for the next couple of months. Hopefully a bit longer. We quite like her. We'd like to keep her around. So it's very exciting. So Yuka, you're going to be seeing quite a bit of Yuka on a lot of the videos. Now I know you've given VM and the guys some clips and stuff, so you'll notice there's some pictures and videos that'll be playing while we're chatting. And so if anyone's got any questions for Yuka, please pop them through. Here we go. What is a trails guide if not like a field guide or a driving guide, I suppose?
Yeah. Okay, so the field guide is mostly based on like a vehicle guiding, so that you go on the vehicles and take the guests on drive and then look for animals. And then the trails guide is more focused on like walking, and especially not just like a few hours bushwalk. We all do like a long walk, sometimes even take the backpack and go out in the wild and sleep under the skies. And yeah, so the trails guide is more focused on walking and looking for animals, looking at the smaller things like poop or trucks or like insects, anything like that, and look into the little things that you might not necessarily see out on the drive. So that's what the trails guide is about.
That's spot on.
Yeah.
So it's a lot more sort of immersive.
Yeah.
You're not driving around everywhere, and you're not really focused. If you come across lion tracks, you might follow them. You might look at a chrysalis of a beetle or a praying mantis. Exactly. So lots of stuff.
And if you encounter the big games, that's obviously a bonus. If
Yes.
you encounter with the elephants, that's such a special moment. You look up to these big animals on foot. It's something very special to me. Rather than
Ian wants to know,
Yes.
what is your favorite animal?
I don't know why I hesitate to say this, but my favorite animal is lion, because I think it's just such a typical African animal, but I just still love lions. So when I see them, I always get excited.
And Yuka's brought us a bit of lion luck.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so your second morning we went out, Yuka was learning some of the roads with me, and we found the pride, 5 lionesses.
Yeah, that was very cool.
And we had them hunting buffalo. That was that yesterday?
Yesterday morning.
It feels like it was a week ago already.
It was yesterday morning.
Yeah. And we saw another question for you here. What do you love about guiding?
Yeah. For me, it's more about me being able to share my passions and love for Africa. I was one of those people who was in Japan, loving about natures in Africa, but not necessarily not knowing about it. But now I'm being here as a field guide, I'll be able to actually share my knowledge and more stuff that probably Japanese people in Japan wouldn't know. I'll be able to spread more love and awareness about animals here in the bush here. So that's really special to me, to be able to be a guide. So hopefully I will get to bring more Japanese people into the bush and talk more about it, so that more people will know about it.
Now, Sketch Cats wants to know, why aren't there more Japanese guides?
I know. I was very surprised when I got here as an eco-training student. They told me I was one of the first one for them to be part of the year-long course, and I was very shocked that there was no previous students from Japan. So I don't really have the answer for that.
And so how long have you guided for from CNAC?
So I finished my eco-training course in 2016, and then since then I was back and forth because I wanted to finish my degree in Japan, in the university in Japan. So I probably had 6 months back in Japan, but then I came back here. So probably around
4 years now, almost.
Yeah, where are we?
2020.
So probably about less than 5 years.
Okay, yeah, just less than 5 years.
Yeah.
4 years or so. Okay. Sinak says, Yuka, I know that in Japan you have dung beetles.
What? Really? Do we?
What do you think of the African ones?
Do we have a dung beetle in Japan?
I don't know. You're Japanese.
Oh wow! No, I didn't know this. I'm a little embarrassed. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I learned a lot about animals out here in Africa, but I actually haven't got that much clue what's happening in Japan. So that's one of the things it's on my list that I have to learn more about actually my own country. So yeah, thank you for letting me know.
And Sinek also, what's your favorite bird
Yeah.
in Africa?
That's so difficult. I love birding. My most favorite bird. I like purple crested traco.
Okay.
Distinctive. That's this one.
Nice and noisy.
Nice and noisy, but it's beautiful.
It
Especially
is
when
also
it's
beautiful,
flying.
yes.
All the red wings get spread out, and it's beautiful.
Okay, we got quite a few questions here. But also, Yuka's going to be doing what we're pretty sure will be a world first.
I'm pretty sure.
A virtual safari in Japanese.
That is true.
Yeah, and we're pretty sure that's going to be a world first. So quite exciting for Painted Dog and for Yuka.
For me, it definitely is.
So we're very, very excited about that. And of course, we're very excited to have you here as part of the team and in the den, so to speak. The pack is growing, the dispersals are joining, and I would say, what are you most excited about living here in the middle of Baluli now? What do you think is going to be the most exciting? Because you know it's going to change. You never know what we're going to find, but what do you think?
I mean, like being out in the bush.
Yeah.
It's just, for me, being, in terms of being able to work with you guys is very special for me, because obviously you have so much experience and so much knowledge that I can, keep absorbing. So like that's my very amazing opportunity for me to be able to join this pack. So that's what is amazing for me, to be actually here at this, your den. And obviously being out in the bush, being able to do the virtual safari to the Japanese people, especially with this COVID, people can't travel out too much. So I love to be able to, spread and then do the virtual safari to Japanese people, through online. That's something very new and exciting. So that's very special to me, if that answers your question.
Yes, it does. Very, very, very well put. Barbara, what do you aspire to do? So if you're guiding now, do you want to start your own guiding company? Do you want to, where do you aspire?
Yeah. So for my thing is, like, I've been working as a field guide in lodges around here, but not too many Japanese people necessarily come to Kruger side. There are a lot of people go to Cape Town and then go to other, Victoria Falls or Botswana. So like my aim is to be able to guide more Japanese people. Like, I want to make use of that I'm Japanese, that I can speak Japanese. I'm the only Japanese female guy, so I want to make use of that. So I would love to be able to gather more people from Japan and guide in Japanese and spread more awareness in Japan. Yeah, that's my goal. I'm inspired to do that.
Cat3 wants to know, how many languages can you speak?
Just two. Yeah. So Japanese, well, actually I was born in the States, so when I was like really, really baby, apparently I spoke English first. But then obviously I lost it because I went to all the schools in Japan and I only could speak English, I only could speak Japanese, and I learned English again when I was probably end of the high school. So that's only two languages that I can speak.
Well, I think you should say something in Japanese.
Okay, what do you want me to say?
I don't know.
Okay, I can introduce myself.
Yes, introduce yourself in Japanese.
Okay, こんにちは. Obviously, everyone knows this one. Hopefully. こんにちは。私の名前はオタユカです。今は、サバンナの中にいて、ブレントと一緒に、生放送を放送しています。
I wonder what she's saying about me. I think she's being naughty. She said something naughty about me.
Yeah.
Thank you, Vicky. So we're very excited, and hopefully Yuka's going to teach us a bit of Japanese. Whether our thick skulls will be able to take it in or not is a completely different question. Okay. TD Kid 1, I'd give anything to be a guide. My passion for the predators won't pay for the course, though. Well, you can keep working at it, and Yuka's a great example that dreams can come true. And we've been lucky enough to have some other eco-training students, past students on with us, and from Ireland, but they live in Denmark. Is that right?
That's cool.
Yeah, so it was very, very interesting. Angie wants to know a bit more about the trails guide. How far do you walk during a day, or how long does it last?
So when we do the trails activity, we often do actually for a long term. We walk for like 4 days, like 3 nights, 4 days. So we take the 4 days worth of food and equipment on your backpack. You don't even carry tent, like you just carry the backpack, and then go out in the field in the middle of nowhere. You not choose a nice safest spot and then like make the place. So probably we walk around like 4 hours, 5 hours in the morning, and when it's hottest time of the day, we kind of find a nice big tree and take a nap in the shade. And then in the afternoon, maybe we walk again in 3 hours. But it all depends on like encounters, or it all depends on heat and how tired you are, or how tired the guests are and stuff like that. So it depends, but it's more or less that's like how many hours you walk during the day when you're out on the trails.
So my dad has said something very nice here, so I think you might blush a little bit, because welcome to Yuka. She's a special person. I've had the pleasure of working with her on Reed Spruit Game Reserve.
Thank you so much, Kevin. It means a lot to me for coming from you. Thank you.
Okay, let's see what other questions we've got coming in here. Catherine says, Japanese, what a beautiful language.
Thank you.
Okay, let's have a look. Okay, so while we're waiting for some more questions to come in, and we had a really interesting encounter with one of the giants of the Greater Kruger and one of the biggest tuskers, and he comes luckily enough to visit Pridelands. Hopefully you'll get to meet him soon, but while we wait for your questions to come in, let's have a look at Zander and I catching up with Ezulwini the elephant. Isn't this absolutely incredible? Right in front of our house is one of the Great Kruger tuskers, Ezulwini. Ezulwini means heaven, and I am literally in heaven with this big tusker. Hi, big guy. Visiting the new den site, and hopefully we're going to be seeing quite a bit more of him. You're a very relaxed big boy. So absolutely incredible to have one of the greatest tuskers left in Africa on our doorstep, and I for one cannot wait to spend more time with Ezulwini, the one from heaven. Wasn't that absolutely incredible? I'm sure you can't wait to meet Ezulwini.
Actually,
you
met
have,
him.
you
Yeah,
have,
I
yes.
have met him. Yeah, I had him on foot actually before, and he was very, very cool.
That was amazing. We were about 10 meters away from on foot, sitting on the ground, and he took no notice of us and just kept on doing his elephant business. I actually spotted him from bed. I was lying on my bed, working on the computer, and I was like, shh, because we're very lucky. We have elephants in front of the house. I mean, since you've been here every day.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I was like, that looks like a nut. Oh my goodness, those are not just normal tusks. That's a monster. So we rushed out to go see him, and that was on Sunday.
That's amazing.
So hopefully he comes back for a visit soon.
Yeah, that'll be nice.
Africa Sky says you must be very fit for your trails walking. Anushka would like to, have you had any animals come very close to you while walking? Well, Ezulwini.
Yeah, that's true. Ezulwini did that too. Yeah. So, but the point is, like, you are in their space, so you don't want to obviously do the encounters too obvious. So the perfect encounter is the animals not knowing that you were there. So we try to get too close, but I think this can happen sometimes. But obviously we do make sure that there's always escape route for the animals, that there's like some sort of high advantage or some sort of safety. So yeah, most likely the animals won't, charge, and then most likely they will move off for us, kind of thing.
And with most animals, even the buffalo can be a bit of an exception to the rule sometimes, and hippo.
Yeah, that's true.
But most animals will actually try and move away from you. They don't actually want to have conflict with you. MJGNM Gal would like to know, have you had any scary encounters on foot or in the bush in general?
Yeah, actually, you were just speaking about, it was hippo that also happened to me. And that was quite earlier in my career, and I wasn't too sure what I was doing properly back then. And then one of the hippo got angry and then kind of charged us, but obviously didn't
come out the water.
Well, they did come out of the water and chased us a little bit, but it didn't kept chasing me, so they turned around and it went back for us. So it was like
hippos can be quite scary. And Brian, you weren't with me when we had the proper hippo charge. No. It was Davy. If you were not a guide, what other job would you do?
Yeah, I actually never thought of it.
Yeah, there we go. There's your answer.
Yeah, probably because I was studying in tourism, so I have a degree in tourism in Japan. So probably I would have looked at, working for tour agent, but I always wanted to get involved in the conservation. So I was looking for the way to get involved in the conservation working in Japan, which I couldn't really figure out. So that's actually decided to just jump into Africa and then get involved in here
on the ground.
Yeah, on the ground in the field.
Just on the field.
Exactly, and I think that was the best way for me. So I actually don't know.
And TD Kid 1 would like to know, what tracks do you find the most difficult to identify?
I struggle a lot with bird tracks.
Yeah, birds are really tough.
Yeah. Sometimes I get confused with birds. Or what else is the hard tracks?
I'm trying to think. Pangolin catch a lot of people out, but once you've learned pangolin, it becomes easy.
I don't think I've
frogs.
Frog
tracks can be quite difficult, particularly when you've got your little bush velds, rain frogs and stuff, because they don't hop and they don't leave normal prints, and their little fat tummies sometimes scrape on the sand, so it can look almost like a lizard track. I think frogs can be quite difficult, but birds, it's easy to say it's bird, but it's knowing which bird.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I mean, owls leave the nice K. Owls are quite easy. Korans are quite easy. But I'd say you're probably, when you start, and there's some seriously good trackers out there who can start differentiating between waxbills and whatnot. And but birds are quite difficult. Yes, he is truly a magnificent Ellie. Lots of comments on how wonderful Ezulwini is. How old would he be? I guess he's probably 40 to 45. I'm not 100% sure. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree.
Around there.
Yeah.
Dan would like to know, do your family ever visit the bush and spend time and spurred your interest in Africa on?
Yeah, they did visit me. I think it was 2016. Because I was still the second year in Africa, so my family was very worried. The people would think Africa is one of the dangerous places and stuff like that. But it's actually, if you're in the bush, it's very, it's not like that. So when they actually came visit me, they realized what kind of environment that I'm in, what kind of people I'm working with, and then got very chill. And now they really support me. So yeah, they fall in love with the bush as well. So I think once you be here, you know what kind of environment that I'm in, and then yeah, they're happy with the decision that I made now. Yeah.
Barbara Russell, Yuka will be doing virtual safaris in Japanese and hopefully in English if we can get her to do one. And he's indeed an incredible tusker. And the nice thing is that you can see the size difference with those impala there. So Sinak, Yuka's favorite cat is lions. We chatted about that a bit earlier. Yuka, have you ever been interviewed or covered in the media in Japan?
Yes, very recently actually. Just last year, I was very lucky to have opportunity to be featured on one of the TV show in Japan, and that actually helped me to get a little bit more Japanese clients. So before that, I don't think I have met probably two different groups in the last 4 years. That's the only Japanese group I've met. But after the TV show, I actually could get some people, so that helped a lot to pursue my dream. So yeah, I have been on a couple of shows.
Yeah,
1 or 2.
Ian would like to know, what animal would you most like to meet? So an African animal that you have. Oh, actually, I suppose it can be any animal in the world.
I love to see pangolin.
Pangolin? You still haven't seen a pangolin? Oh dear. Okay, hopefully we can find a pangolin for you in the next little while.
No, I haven't seen pangolin.
Betty, he was pushing the tree with his nose, with his trunk, not his tusks. Vicky, are there any Asian elephants in Japan?
No. They are in East Asia, like in Thailand, India. Well, India is in East Asia, but...
Alright, it is impressive when a hippo waves his gaping mouth at you.
Yeah.
Okay, lots of questions coming in. Danny, you are spot on. There are hyena whooping behind us.
They can hear it too.
Yep, the microphone is picking up the hyenas. Marcia, has Yuka filmed any drives in Japanese? Not yet.
No.
That's next week's job.
Exactly. Yeah, I did some drives for the TV show, but it's not like just a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
So I've never done the virtual safari in Japanese. I'm very, very excited to make it happen. Hopefully in a week's time.
I think the first one is the 22nd.
22nd, yes.
The first virtual Japanese drive.
Yeah.
But as I said, I'm pretty sure Yuka will probably pop on some of the English drives as well. She's going to will be part of the guiding roster, and it's going to be very exciting to have Yuka on board, and she brings such a wonderful and different element to our guiding team. So we're very, very excited about that. Patty would like to know, Yuka, what animal, apart from lions, took your breath away the most?
I think it was elephant. I still remember the first time I've ever seen the elephant. Obviously, apart from the zoo in Japan. And the first time I've seen the wild elephant, I was very overwhelmed, and it took my breath. I was like, that moment was very special to me. So I think I would say elephant.
I love it.
Yeah.
I wild dog, obviously my favorite, but I would say after wild dog, I think elephants.
Elephant is something special. Yeah.
And bushbuck. I love bushbuck. But I'm a weirdo.
Bushbuck, yeah.
Ladybird, have you seen any animals give birth yet?
I actually have. I've seen the impala give birth, but the mom was struggling, so the baby wasn't coming out properly and it got stuck, and it was a little bit sad to see.
Oh dear.
And probably she didn't make it at the end. But
Okay.
yes, but that was the only giving birth moment I've witnessed.
Danny says, definitely think Yuka should do some virtual drives. Her accent is super cool and easy to listen to.
Thank you.
Betty B wants to know, which is scarier, a hippo or a crocodile?
I would say hippo.
Yeah, it depends. I mean, a crocodile, don't stand near the water's edge and stuff. Hippos you can encounter far away from water. They run out of the water, and they're very, very big animals. I would say the worst charges I've faced in all my years in the bush have all been from hippos. Yeah, so that's definitely... Yuka, do you think you'll live in Africa for all your life? from cheetah charm?
Definitely, I love to stay here as much as I can. Obviously, there's some difficulties as a foreigner that I have to overcome, but I will make it happen. Yeah, I love to be here as long as possible.
And we get asked that question quite a lot, particularly when we've had some of the eco training instructors here, and it's difficult. How do we live in Africa as a foreigner, work permits and stuff? And if you truly have passion and love, you will make it happen. As Yuka is a prime example of, sitting right here.
There was quite a few moments that I thought I won't make it with all these, legal issues. But then every time I was lucky, or I found a way. So I think if you keep trying and then keep aiming, as long as there's a little possibility, I would definitely want to try, hang on to these little possibilities that might make it work. So that's how I have been living here for past, 4 years, 5 years. So I think I will live like this for the next little while too.
Alarmoa, what animal would you choose to be your spirit animal?
I think I would say white-tailed mongoose.
White-tailed mongoose?
Yeah.
Why white-tailed mongoose?
I don't know why, but every time I go night drive, I often saw them. It's not the most common animal to see on the drive, but I encounter them a lot.
Yeah. Vim's just chirping in there. His is slender mongoose.
Oh, yeah.
We all know Vim is a slender mongoose, though. Okay. He's called the Wildebeest, but that's just on the outside. On the inside, he's a slender mongoose. What is the most amazing sighting you've seen? Do we have a video of that? I can't remember. Did you?
No,
not tonight.
It was a really horrible quality because I took it on my phone and I was so excited, so it was shaky, so I didn't put that one on. But I think it should be a picture.
There should be a picture. So can you walk us through that sighting then, and maybe the picture will pop up?
Okay, yeah. So that happened in the Kruger National Park when I was actually taking a Japanese guest. It was a bunch of young boys from Japan, and they were also very, very overwhelmed. So what happened was we found a big buffalo walking towards the river line, and there was 10 lions, the pride of lions, sleeping, taking a nap in the shade of the tree. And the buffalo was pretty old, I think, so he couldn't really see what was happening, and then walked into this pride, and obviously the pride got up and saw him coming, and then they all scattered around, making sure there's all angle covered around this black boy, and then literally started chasing, and the buffalo ran away, but they all 10 chased, and it was so cool to watch this whole sequences from the moment the buffalo walked into it without knowing there was a pride, and then lion got them, and then finally all of them jumped on this buffalo and then started feeding on them, on him. So that was a very cool moment to watch. So I think I would say that was the most exciting sighting that I've had so far.
So far. And we had a bit of buffalo lion action, but quite different, not quite as exciting. The lions found some very fit, big buffalo bulls yesterday who actually chased the lions more than the lions chased them.
That was cool to see as well.
Anushka would like to know, what is the rarest sighting you've ever had?
I've been lucky enough to see the aardvark a lot.
Aardvark?
Yeah, so cool. When I was living in the other reserve, I had to drive from the lodge back to home. And on the way back home, it's not always didn't happen on the night drive with the guests. It always happened on my way back home alone. But then one time I just saw bum sticking out of the ground. It was like he was just digging hole. And he didn't even realize that I was there. And he kept digging for a few minutes. I actually got off the car and I just was watching him from a little bit far. And he just kept digging, and I realized that I was there, and I walked around and disappeared into the bush. That was the coolest moment ever.
Awesome.
Yeah, that was quite unique.
And Tom wants to know, what's your favorite animal from Japan?
I don't know. Favorite animal in Japan? I love to see the bear that's in northern part of Japan, which I have never seen yet. So that's one of the things I love to see. But otherwise, I love the wildlife. The bird wildlife in Japan. I've never noticed how many birds there were actually in Japan until I came here and learned about bird in Africa. That make me realize there's actually so many species that is even same one, like egret, or the kingfishers,
grey herons.
So many same species was actually in Japan, and that actually got me very amazed. And that's now my favorite animals to look at in Japan.
Well, that's exciting.
Yeah, that was very cool.
And of course, we're going to get to see quite a lot more of Yuka over the coming months, and we're very excited. Hopefully, we'll be able to find you a pangolin.
Yes, please.
Or two.
Yes, please.
But of course, we've got quite a lot going on this weekend. It's been very, very busy. But just remember that there are no live drives this weekend, and that's due to the live elephant collaring for the Blue Sky Society tomorrow. But just in case you've forgotten what it's like to go on a private live virtual safari with Painted Dog TV, we've got a few highlights from last weekend put together by the amazing Brian Joubert. So enjoy.
Hello and welcome to your very own private live virtual safari.
Oh, giraffe! I told you I heard something. There's a giraffe.
Now, isn't that incredible? All those little highlight clips are from our first month of doing private virtual safari. So very, very exciting. And of course, VM is always hard at work at the black magic of the thingy-mabobs and thingy-majigs that you stick together and put together. There's a bit of tape here and a cable tie there, and all of a sudden we're able to do a live drive. So that is just a little snippet of some of the highlights we've had, and we are working on expanding the network. We'll be able to drive further, see more areas. So very, very exciting. And a big thank you to everyone so far who has been on a private live drive with us and supported us from the beginning. And of course, due to VM's dark arts, we are now able to get off the vehicle. So we can go straight from driving off the vehicle, as you saw, climb into the rocks, have a look what's around, go for a little track, get down close and look at the tracks. So VM is working absolute magic, it will always, and we are going to most definitely be improving on that live private experience, and that wouldn't have been possible without your support and by jumping on board with Painted Dog TV. Yes, Linda, the Ellie rubbing his bum is absolutely hilarious. One of my favorite things. And so, of course, as I said, there's no drives this weekend, but there are still seats available for next weekend. The guide schedule will only be coming out on Monday, who's going to be taking those drives. So we will keep you updated. Keep a look on our social media for that. But tomorrow, of course, we are off to do something incredible. We're going to do the first live virtual collaring of an African elephant bull. And we're very excited about that. It's posed some challenges which we didn't expect. Yuka's seen some of VM's mad science fabrication going on. Some of us get a bit used to it. We're a bit blasé. And of course, it is a very difficult thing to do outside of a sort of home network. And we are very, very thankful for Letaba Wireless, who provide internet in the Hoedspruit area, who have come on board. And without them making a plan at the last minute, it wouldn't have been possible. So a massive thank you to Letaba Wireless. And if you are in South Africa or in the Hoedspruit area and you need internet, speak to the guys from Letaba. They are wonderful. So yeah, it has been great. We're very excited. Now, I know some of you are having a problem with getting tickets. I spoke to the Blue Sky Society guys today, and if your phone number, if you're putting the +1 for the US, it is giving problems. So just put a 0. So where you would normally put your +1, put a 0, and that should get you through if you are having trouble booking a ticket. Now, of course, there are 2 collarings, one in the morning and one in the afternoon. Those will be going live from about 8 o'clock. We can't say exactly because obviously we've got to get out there, find the elephant, all that type of stuff. So fingers crossed it all. Well, I know it's going to go well, but so for any time from 8 for those who have booked their seats on the virtual live elephant collaring, please bear with us. But it should be going live from 8. We're leaving here at 5 tomorrow morning to get ready. There we go. So those of you who need Letaba Wi-Fi, Charles has popped their link there. And for those of you who haven't booked your spot on with Blue Sky Society for the live elephant collaring with Elephants Live, remember, this is the money raised for this is going towards new collars and repairing collars on the elephants with the Elephants Alive ongoing program, and we are very, very excited and very privileged to be able to be part of this incredible world first with Elephants Alive and the Blue Sky Society. So very, very exciting things. Now we've got a big favor to ask those of you who already have the Painted Dog TV app. We've been loving interacting with you on it. There's some quite new exciting stuff coming out on the app in the next couple of weeks. So what we're going to encourage you to do is take your discussions from here, because the live chat's going to end, and where are you going to talk about what we've been chatting about and what we've seen, but the one and only Painted Dog TV app. So please, we encourage you to go chat there. If there's any misbehaving or trolls, we'll beat them over the head. So it's a nice safe space to discuss. You can go have a look at some of the birds. I put out a bird quiz probably once every couple of days. There will be more features coming, as I said, in the next couple of weeks, and you guys are our, well, they call it a beta testing, but you're actually our alpha testing group, because you're there to help us get it to where we want it to be before we go massively public with it. You can share it amongst yourselves, but we will do a big song and dance in about November, when all the other features are ready. So please go chat on the app, and there's a great place and platform there to show us some of the wildlife from your homes. We want to see your birds, we want to see your animals, and the different wildlife you have at home. We'd love to see some of that. So please go use the Painted Dog TV app, available on both the Android and iStore. And of course, check out the Teespring. Brian's been hard at work. There's some masks, there'll be some new t-shirts and stuff coming out. We're going to be starting, we haven't started yet, a Prideland series. So there should be some Pixie Pan, Susan the Elephant, and all sorts of other fun stuff coming out on the merchandising side via Teespring. And of course, this all wouldn't be possible without you guys who have been supporting us from day one. A special thanks have to go to Leadwood Big Game Estate, the Steenbach family, from Blowbank, Kai and Lorville, and of course Eco Training and Pridelands, that we now call home. And a big thank you to Yuka for joining us here at Painted Dog TV, and we can't wait to share, both of us now as the two guides on Pridelands, of course with Tristan and Ali as well. We can't wait to share the joys of Africa with you almost every day. And of course Led Lenser, who you wouldn't see us without, for providing this incredible lighting. But for now, we're going to go get some shut-eye, because it's a bright and early start to get to that elephant collaring tomorrow morning. Good night.